Video opens with dark, grainy archival footage of the San Francisco Bay Area in the late 1960s. The atmosphere is tense, underscored by a low, ominous drone. The late 1960s were a time of counterculture and supposed liberation, but beneath the surface of peace and love, a shadow was creeping over Northern California. It was a darkness that would terrorize communities, baffle law enforcement, and give birth to one of America's most enduring and chilling mysteries. This was not just a series of crimes, it was the arrival of a phantom who named himself after the stars. In the heart of this turmoil, a sinister symbol, a circle with a cross drawn through it, began to appear, marking the dawn of a reign of terror orchestrated by the figure who would become known only as the Zodiac Killer. Cut to scenes depicting isolated lovers' lanes at dusk. Quick shots of a car's headlights, a nervous glance, followed by flashes of police lights against the dark landscape. The killer's campaign of horror began with a brutal and chillingly simple pattern. He targeted the vulnerable, preying on young couples seeking privacy in secluded locations under the cover of darkness. The first attacks, on Lake Herman Road in December 1968 and at Blue Rock Springs Park in July 1969, were swift, merciless, and seemingly random acts of violence that sent shockwaves through the quiet suburban communities. As police swarmed these desolate crime scenes, a palpable sense of fear began to grip the Bay Area. The public was confronted with a terrifying new reality. A predator was stalking the night, his motives unknown and his next move unpredictable. The screen shows close-ups of handwritten letters and complex hand-drawn ciphers. A finger traces over the cryptic symbols, newsprint headlines flash by. But the Zodiac was not content with mere violence. He craved notoriety and reveled in the fear he created. Soon after the Blue Rock Springs attack, he began his infamous correspondence, a twisted game of cat and mouse played out on the front pages of the region's biggest newspapers. He sent taunting letters to the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, boasting about his crimes and demanding they publish his cryptic messages. These letters were often accompanied by complex ciphers, promising that his identity was hidden within the jumbled symbols. With each new letter, filled with chilling proclamations and threats of more violence, the Zodiac transformed himself from a mere murderer into a media-savvy monster, a taunting messenger who held an entire region captive with his words. Footage of police officers at press conferences, investigators hunched over desks piled high with files, and detectives examining maps with pins marking attack locations. In response to the escalating terror, one of the largest and most intensive manhunts in California's history was launched. Law enforcement agencies across multiple jurisdictions pooled their resources, dedicating countless man-hours to cracking the killer's codes and tracking down the unseen enemy. Yet the Zodiac remained frustratingly elusive, a ghost who seemed to operate without leaving a trace. He toyed with investigators, providing misleading clues and delighting in their inability to catch him. Despite interviewing thousands of potential suspects and chasing down innumerable leads, the police were always one step behind. The manhunt, for all its scale and desperation, yielded nothing but dead ends, leaving a trail of exhausted detectives and a growing sense of public helplessness. The video slows down, showing the Zodiac symbol fading into the background. The final shot is a slow zoom into the infamous Unsolved 340 cipher, which remains on screen. As the 1970s progressed, the Zodiac's letters became less frequent and the attacks eventually ceased. The once feverish investigation gradually cooled, leaving the case file to gather dust, thick with unanswered questions and unresolved grief. The killer simply vanished, melting back into the society he had so brazenly terrorized, his identity forever shielded by the very mystery he had so carefully constructed. Decades later, the case remains officially open and unsolved, a testament to a killer's chilling success in evading justice. The Zodiac's reign ended not with a capture, but with a haunting silence, leaving behind a legacy of fear and a collection of cryptic symbols that stand as a permanent and unsettling monument to an enduring American mystery.